This place is a collector of memories. Each piece, part of this area has some meaning to us.
We built it with memory, something of Vinod's childhood, our children's childhood. I can still visualize my son and daughter-in-law on these steps getting married. So like that, the place holds special memories for us.
Proudly part of the 01 network by Zerodha.
I am Vinod.
And Beena. Together we have created Banyan Bliss. Right now we are sitting under this beautiful canopy of the banyan tree.
I grew up in a value-based Malayali family where we relocated to Sri Lanka, and that was where my early childhood was. It was one full of excitement because I was in a boarding school. I was an independent child at 3 years old.
Coming to me, I had a very rural upbringing, I would say. So my father was an engineer in the electricity board. So the places where we were posted to was always where a dam needed to be built. But I always had this dream of wanting to do little more with my life. But then there were certain societal constraints. You were allowed to be educated, but you're never allowed to think too much. As a woman, you started having your own thoughts, then it becomes a problem. But luckily my parents, they were really wonderful and they allowed me to explore, and I was able to go for my higher studies to TISS in Mumbai. And to me that was like going to New York or something like that.
I never realized that another opportunity was awaiting.
I met Vinod over there. We were in TISS from the years 1976 to 78.
Both of us was doing our masters and we were good friends. And then we got to talk and we kept talking.
We didn't consciously think of it as dating. We were friends and it grew into a deep companionship. We did dream. By the second year, we knew that our life was together. We started our life in Bangalore as a couple, as a family. We got married there.
And this was about 1979.
Then as the family grew, and at that time, I felt at that point in time that I needed to spend, having decided to have children and 3 of them, I needed to stay back and be there for them. And we took this decision between ourselves. Of course, it was a practical decision also. We knew that Vinod's career is the one that is going to bring financial stability. To us, marriage was always a teamwork. It was not a very egoistic thing. You are doing that, I am not doing this, something like that. Your money, my money. It was never there. It was always our money. We moved to Hyderabad after our 3 children were born. And Vinod was in advertising and he got a good offer. Though we loved Bangalore, that was like, I would say, a mid-career move. I mean, like an early in our 30s move.
So Hyderabad was like another world that had opened out with new responsibilities and new assignments that I had to fulfill.
And also for the family, that brought a certain amount of comfort. So much so that we actually started thinking, okay, Hyderabad is a great place. Maybe we should build a home over there, and we started dreaming about building a home and putting it out there in the universe till it really materialized.
And in fact, it materialized to the point that we had certain requirements by the LIC where we got a loan from, which was that we had to have the construction plans ready before we could even apply for a loan. And there, the contractor, he said, I'm offering you to do this for you free, just so that you can get your dream.
So those days, there was only LIC offered housing loan. The condition was you should have built up the foundation.
And we had hardly any money to build a foundation.
He said, I'll build it for you. Once you get your loan, then you can repay it to me. I think at that point in time, one was able to withdraw some PF amount, plus maybe a Diwali bonus, everything put together. We were able to scrape together about 3 lakhs. That allowed us to buy a small plot, about 150 square yard. And this would be in the year 93 probably. And when we showed the foundation to LIC, then they sanctioned this princely amount of 7 lakhs with which we built our house.
And that was our first asset.
Yeah, it was like an impossibility to have at that time.
Once we set our minds on something, nothing stops us. From Hyderabad, I looked at my career with a better perspective, and I did tell her that I was thinking of moving to Bombay, where there was a huge career opportunity.
And also, like leaving behind for me, this dream house which we had built was like heart-wrenching for me. But then it had to be a family decision. Though it is painful, maybe for the family, the children, also growing up in Bombay would offer better opportunities.
What did success mean? And that is the advertising career that I had. 1980, I joined advertising. Started my career in an agency called Systems. At that time, I was drawing a salary of 300 plus. Then a year later, it went to about 1,000 plus. I continued there till 1984. And at that point in time, I think I was drawing about
3,000 to 4,000.
3,000 to 4,000 rupees.
Yeah.
And then I got a little tired, and then I took a break. And then I moved back into advertising in 85 on a salary of...
if I'm not mistaken, maybe around 5,000 to 6,000 rupees. Was it Everest?
Everest Advertising.
And he continued there till we moved to Hyderabad in the same company. A comfortable salary those days were 10, 12, like that.
But then it moved up to 24,000 just before I left for Bombay.
Then, okay, Bombay was
Bombay
another
was about
exciting...
lakh and 20, and that was Nexus Equity. And then thereafter, 2 or 3 years later, I moved to PSL McCann. And there, I think the salary moved up to about 2 and more.
Then came that period
Consulting.
when Vinod went into consulting.
So there again, it was a lakh plus. Now, I had kind of reached a point where I was overdoing what I had to do. I was continually working. I mean, it was tiring. It was all of that. But there was never a moment that I spent to actually, assess, whether this was exactly where we would be going and heading, etc. Till sudden, heart attack occurred, and I just questioned myself once and said, I'm here to live my life. I'm not here to shorten my life. So if I had to shorten my life, I can continue the same path. If I had to lengthen my life, then it's time that I took a turn in the road and tried to find a new road to go on, which I really did after I left the corporate world. In 2008, when I actually transitioned to a consulting arrangement.
This decision allowed both of us, even our children, to see him more often and also to be able to build this place. If he was very actively working in an organization, we would never have been able to build up this place. It is one of the main triggers, or I would say catalysts. Then we took it like, no, this has to be done. A place which we can call home, we must find it. That urgency stepped in.
But in the process of the urgency, we said we will not compromise. We have to find the perfect place.
Yeah. So every weekend, practically, from Mumbai, we would take a drive. At first, our outings were mostly restricted to Karjat, Neral, that is where all the farmhouses that we knew of existed. But one day, one of the brokers, he crossed Kopoli, and in fact we stopped him, right? And told him, like, let's go back. And for some reason, he was very perseverant. We said, now turn back. He said, no, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And we finally ended up at Asunde. We have never thought about anything beyond Karjat, and here we were, almost so many kilometers away, so far away, and just a dirt road up the hill. Car couldn't come up. We stopped. Then somewhere from that distance, the top of the banyan tree was visible.
And then I was visualizing, this suddenly there in front of me is this place, and I'll stand there in the night. So between the two of us, we were visualizing differently.
And the entire 360 view of the valley below opened out to us, and we said, wow, it was so good. So it was not really that we didn't find the land as much as the land called out to us, It really felt like that.
We bought it in 2008-9, and the land parcel was an acre and a quarter.
The broker quoted a rate which was at that time 25 lakhs. We knew it was a little overpriced, but in Malayalam there is a word called mohavela, meaning like a value for your desired land. That is different from what is the actual price. We took that decision, a very emotional decision, and we told ourselves it's not just a piece of land, it's for that location. And we will not get that location anywhere else in the whole world. Around 2010, we actively started the construction. So we ended up paying around 30 to 35 lakhs to construct.
The monthly revenue at Banyan Bliss would probably be around 2 lakhs, give or take the seasons, right?
Yeah.
And the time period. And our expenses come to probably a lakh and 30 or 40.
By expenses, we mean we have, even though we have our guests on the weekends, we maintain the staff, so their salaries plus our electricity bill, and then along with the guests, our expenses also get covered. The balance we keep aside a little bit for our travel, or maybe there would be an unexpected repair. It always happens.
And depending on what the requirement is at that point in time, we use that funds.
Sometimes I can't believe that it is still ours. Like, okay, we have all these beautiful views. And when a friend called stressed from the city and asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm having a cup of coffee and just looking at the 3 waterfalls I can see around. And then that made me realize, oh my God, I'm really lucky to be living in this space.
Because I wake up every day and I tell myself, wow, I would not give up this for anything on the world.
We often talk about, Banyan Bliss is a home, but it is also a sanctuary to which we want our children to return to. It is a place where you can come. Right now you may not need it, but we feel as you grow older in life, it will pull you, it will call you. So our gift to our children in terms of, it's not a huge bank deposit, but it is more the place which we built, what you can do with it, earn an income and be self-sufficient, and the relationships we have built in this community or the community we have created. And we find many young people ask us, okay, uncle, auntie, Mr. Nair, Mrs. Nair, we want to leave the city. And very often they use the word escape. From our experience, we would say don't escape, but prepare first.
If you're actually talking about escaping, you will never be able to stop escaping. It is about taking a moment to discover whether what your life aims are being fulfilled or not fulfilled.
Prepare a little bit. Even you have to alter your mindset a little bit before you take the decision to get away from the city life. And don't think that everything is going to be perfect and tomorrow morning I'll just get up and listen to the bird, just because nature is unpredictable. But don't give up, just accept it. If you give time to let this way of life soak into you, you will grow into it. In some ways, I feel coming to Banyan Bliss is like coming full circle. I know that Vinod, in his early years in Sri Lanka, he heard his dad and mom used to take him through the jungles and streams and rivers, and so he had a lot of exposure to nature. And me, I grew up in nature. But that time, as a teenager, I dreamt of going into the city. And then finally, I felt like we lived in all the 3 most beautiful cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai. And we're back in a place which is even smaller than the village I grew up in,
And it's interesting because very often when you are in process of thought, something comes up and then you suddenly decide that, okay, that is my next move in life. And that becomes a full circle.
Hey, if you think you resonate with these stories and you think you have one worth sharing too, then please fill in the form in the pinned comments below and you can get featured on Win12.